Hi, my name is Sophie Summers and welcome to the Crossdressing Lifestyle channel. If this is your first time here or you're new to the channel, please do consider subscribing by hitting the button on the bottom right hand side of the corner. It says subscribe on it, by the way. So today's video has really been inspired by the gentle sport of bowls. Now I'm going to let Stella introduce herself and what the whole issue is all about. So if you're intrigued and you want to find out a little bit more about why we're saying there's a right to reply, please join me after the intro. Hi Stella, thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to speak to you today. I hope you're well.
Oh, hello, Sophie. It's a pleasure. Nice to see you again.
Oh, it's good. It's good. It's been a while. It's been too long, and I wish we could be talking under slightly better circumstances. But
Just, yeah.
yeah, I think for the benefit of those that probably don't know the full details of everything that's going on, can you explain how this whole situation has started?
Yes. Basically, what happened is I had a bit of an interest of bowls, and I walked around our bowling green watching everyone bowl, and I thought, oh, that would be good. But I never quite had the nerve to go and do it.
Right.
And I went around there several occasions for a number of months, and eventually I sort of plucked up the courage to go and do it. And glad I did it in a way, because I was very well welcomed by the club. People have been very friendly. They treat me properly like a normal lady. It's been lovely, really, on that part.
Right.
And I'm not a superstar at it, but I'm not bad. And so there was talk about the team, playing in the league team. And but then here come the bombshell. There's various rulings why I can't.
Ooh.
Yes. Obviously, you want me to say the rulings.
Well, I think it's interesting. I mean, the first things first. I mean, it sounds as though the club themselves welcome you on board, and when you wanted to do it on a slightly different level, as a competition or something else, then they throw these rules at you. What rules exactly are they?
Yeah, I've always been competitive. Back
Yeah.
in football, I did football management. I snooker, pool, or whatever. Even tiddlywinks. That's caused many an argument, but yeah, I've always wanted to win, and so I'm competitive, and I wanted to play in competitions. And certain rulings regarding me were not allowed. Was actually stopping me from playing.
Well, I don't think it's you personally, was it? I think it was coming under the umbrella of being transsexual, wasn't it?
Of course, yeah, it wasn't
Yeah.
me, and I'm hoping now, with me causing a bit of a fuss, it will help other trans people, not only in bowls, in other sports, because I've had many messages of support, and also people saying they're having trouble in their sports, i.e. golf, darts, all sorts of things.
It's
And
unbelievable, isn't it? I mean, I found it when I first saw the story, and I know you're fairly active on sort of social media. I saw it on Facebook, if I'm totally honest, and I was astounded when I actually read, the I suppose all the details, the specific details, some of the wording that was used, some of the archaic nature of the policy that they were using. Not your local club, I must hasten to add, but something up a little bit higher up.
yeah, some of the ruling was basically, yeah, it was a bit archaic. It was just incredible. They come up with sort of rules that you can't you can't turn up in makeup and all the rest of it and vamp up, and that's the exact wording.
It really got me. It just made me smile. Vamp.
Turn up in me heels and
Yeah.
sort of you know sort of glad rags and all that. No, I basically play in appropriate attire, and everyone has said that.
I think the
Uh,
club. It sounds as though the club has come along with the times, but unfortunately, the policy that at a higher level hasn't quite reflected the current thinking. Would that be
it's
fair?
correct. I would I'd say that's fair, Sophie. Yes. Yeah, and the one that really got me was the fact that I had to. I couldn't play for a ladies' team till 3 years after. 3 years after I've had my operation, and I'm thinking, who are they to say I should have an operation?
Yeah.
Yes, I paid for an operation, ironically, for 3 years. So they talked about a certificate as well, basically talking about your gender,
Mm-hmm.
and but they want £140 for that.
They being?
The government. I have to get a registration certificate, and I send them my passport, my driving license, bills, all that sort of thing to little small. Well, I don't think it's that small, but government department, and they look at it and just say, and prove that I've been living as a woman for more than 2 years, which I have, 3.
Yeah.
But they want £140 for that, and I'm a pensioner on a pension, so
There's also the disparity between the two. On one hand, you've got what essentially is a piece of paper, which is from the government, which is fairly high up, and then you've got a policy here that says you must have had inverted commas the operation 3 years previously before they let you in. I mean, one's very achievable, and the other one, well, you're not in control of the operation and things like that, are you? Not if you go through the NHS system.
See, I've been waiting. Well, it's on cautious mode anyway. The NHS really, we're sort of further down the spectrum really in regard to operations. That's another argument. But and of course now COVID has come, which makes things worse. But the good thing, I have been put forward for it.
Yeah.
So we'll wait and see.
But I think there's quite a few elements of, I know you very well. I'm privileged to know you, and I know you're a very strong character, and you've gone through an awful lot in your life. And just looking at the way what I call the mainstream media covered the whole story was quite interesting. Generally positive, but there were quite a few people that, I suppose picked on you personally, didn't they? The way that you looked, rather than getting to actually know you, making a judgment.
I appreciate I'm no Beyonce, but I was told by a lot of trans friends today, they papers from other people that's been involved with social media, trans tips, although they sort of came to me a bit too late, really, Sophie, and that is they like to photograph you looking up at you.
Yeah, from underneath the chin.
Yeah.
Which is, if you're a photographer, is not what you do with people. Because it's not a flattering shot.
It shows the manliness, if you like, in you. And, of course, what didn't help as well, it was pouring with rain and the wind was, it was pretty mad day, really. And the photographer wouldn't let me
adjust.
He wanted to do them, and the two worst shots ended up in the Portsmouth News and the Daily Mail. Yeah,
it's the sensationalism of the whole thing, and that's what got me originally angry. I think it is because the story is not to do with the way that somebody appears. It's the whole process of what's involved, and probably, for want of a better expression, the injustice of it and the archaicness of the ruling.
So I bumped into a lot of friends and everything. They're saying, "Is that really you?" They couldn't believe it. But there you go. It's done now, and it's out there, and also it's been reported in Pink News, a number of other trans things. I know it's going in a few magazines.
Yeah.
I'm talking to you. I think there's someone wants to do a podcast with me. So yeah, if we can get it out there, not so much for me really now.
It's the principle as well. It's if you don't make a noise, you're never heard. And you and I are fortunate enough to sort of benefit from all the things that our previous generation did. And we're kind of got hold of the baton, if you like, and we're just trying to improve. Well, not improve, but just level the playing field.
We're trying to, yeah. never been one for putting up with. I don't know if I can say this word on here, but rubbish, we'll say, just
Yeah.
a bit. But yeah, I've always been like that. If I think rules are stupid, I sort of say.
Well, that's it. I mean, we get it. We live in a society where they kind of do take a lot of our common sense away from us because some people, are not capable of making a logical, I don't know, a logical argument or a logical sort of idea come to fruition. But
No,
what I wanted to do, it's not for me to say, the right to reply, but I think we do have a right to reply. In a way, I mean, I know that we spoke last night, and you were quite upset, and quite rightly, about comments that were made on another YouTube channel. And I've read some of the comments, and yeah, I'm pretty thick-skinned. But they're taking a personal attack, and that's just not the way to do it. Not the way to do it.
very upset about it last night, as you know, because we spoke. Yeah, for those of you who don't know this, there's a site called. Just bear with me a minute when I appear off the screen. It's called Voice of Reason, done by Alex Belfield, and he likes to do sensationalism voices. And my particular thing is balls up, as he put it, and it was like
Typical
cheap,
Sun headline.
yeah, it was sort of like cheap jibes at me, and basically I felt he was hanging me out to dry, and so everyone could put their comments and say, well, she's not a woman, she's a bloke, and all the rest of it. Look at the photographs, and basically a snipe at my appearance. So yeah, it wasn't very nice, especially when you think you had 42,000 hits. That was last night, and you're thinking, I wanted to reply, but I thought he's getting money out of this, and I didn't want to make other people reply to my reply, so he gets more money. If you understand.
Yeah, it's a valid point. You do feel as though you're in the playing ground a little bit with a bit of a bully, with a right. If you don't have a right to reply and represent yourself, I don't think you should run those type of articles myself.
Well, I actually left on his phone. I left my number. Would you like to take this further with me? And the sort of type of guy he is, he didn't ring back.
Well, let's just hope that that's just a clerical thing, and maybe at some stage he will do. But
I hope he does.
Yeah.
Look to him. Yes.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to just move on. There's a lot of people in the trans community like that. You just have to move on, because you don't, how would I say, model or reflect the ideal concept or perception of a female. They can't cope with it. It's always been my sort of comment of,
Yeah, unfortunately, we can't all like Beyonce,
No, well, that's, thank God we don't, because that's what makes us all individuals, isn't it? And what defines you, how you look or how you feel.
I mean, I'm 67, so, what can you do? Nature gives you these cards and you play with them.
Exactly.
And play you can.
Exactly. Well, I'm glad, really, apart from the initial hurt, which was, obviously not to be underplayed, at least you sort of, you kind of take it in your stride. It's just another hurdle for you to get over, isn't it? You have enough of those anyway.
Yes, and no doubt there'll be a few more, but, we'll attack them when we come to it, But, it can be hurtful, but I've got to say they have been way outdone more than by positive comments by people. I've had plenty people ringing me up, messaging me, asking me to not quit bowls and stay with them. And I've had some lovely messages. So,
well, I think that's important. I mean, what's in the mainstream media or in the news or wherever it might be, that's just a fraction of the whole story, isn't it? And the whole story, which is, if you get all of this positivity coming your way, it's good. It does encourage you just to carry on, which you're going to do anyway, aren't you?
Bowling, I'm going to give it some thought. Over the winter, I'm going to give it some thought. They would certainly have to change their point of view on the rules, that's for sure. If they're going to be transphobic, which I regard that as, then I will not play.
Yeah, but that's not your club though, is it? Is that the association? Is it, or is it the club? Or
Bowls England.
okay, so I just wanted to get that point across because I know the club has been very supportive.
Yeah, I have been in touch with Sport England, and they're supportive. The NHS was supportive as well. They're talking, because they try to throw the strength thing first about I'm going to be stronger than everyone, but my strength now is that of a 30-year-old woman. So, um, that doesn't come into it.
Well, it's not a sport where, for argument's sake, and I know this happens a lot. I mean, it's happened a lot in athletics, and I remember I think it's Rennie Richards, was the first transsexual I know who played competitive sport, which was tennis, and she's so much better because, I mean, bowls is not a strength sport, is it?
No, it's like, I don't know. I can't remember the name of the athlete now who had a bit of an overdrive with testosterone, and they try to make a thing about that.
That was the South African lady, wasn't it? I've forgotten what her name is, but she's been going through it for a long time.
Yeah, but she's won an appeal. But,
yeah.
Like, say, if you're a tall person, can you not play basketball? It's just.
Yeah, you could take these things to right sort of extremes, couldn't you?
Oh, women are stronger than me there. I know that because they got heavier bowls or wood, should I say, than I have. But yeah, I've had to buy lighter woods because my strength with my hormone treatment is diminishing.
Yeah. Well, it's good. I mean, it's just nice to be able to. I wanted to do this only because I felt I felt it was unjust what was being said, what was being presented, particularly as I do know you, and I think that the media, whatever it was having a little bit of a cheap laugh day, and that really does upset me because it's just ignored the point and just found something to focus on, which was wrong.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, the wording of the story was okay. I thought that was.
Yeah, I'll give them the due. A lot of them were. I mean, I think it was one of the Nationals was okay. It was pretty positive.
My local paper was. Millie did a good story.
Good.
And I've been speaking to her this morning, saying about my unhappiness about the way the photos were taken. He wasn't interested in any. I started off doing the old, all this. I said, no, I don't want none of that. I said, I want you to look miserable. And then he got down. I said, you're going to take... And then he got down on his knees and took photographs of me up. So, of course, it shows the periphery of my jawbone, if you like. Yeah. So, and that with my hair blown all over the place. My hair actually needs doing again, but there you go. I have... I get this sort of... hair integration thing done. I don't wear a wig, and nearly all of this is my own hair except the front bit here.
Right.
It's doing, and they integrate human hair in with my own hair. So it's so much lighter. It's not so hot, and than wearing wigs. But yeah, so that needs doing again anyway.
Well, you'll know next time if there is a next time. You'll be prepared, as they say.
Hair day, you know why.
Well, thank you very much, Stella, for spending a little bit of time with us. I know you're a good ambassador. You work away at it.
And yeah, it's and the radio station I work for as well. I've got a lot of support from them. And
which one's that?
It's called Trans Radio UK.
Ah.
A couple of shows, an acoustic one and then a rock one, but there's all sorts of genre. They do 1920s. Also, they do West End musical.
Oh, I think does Shelley Jane do one?
Yeah, Shelley. It's a great show. She does Woman's Hour on a Thursday evening, and it was her that told me about turfs. And of course, I found out about them on Twitter the other night.
Yeah.
And so I'm talking to Shelley on a messenger, and she's just telling me all the time, "Get off her, Stella. They're going to upset you. Get off her." And
She's a bright bunny.
oh, is she just? Yeah,
Mm.
she's lovely person. She, not bad for an Australian. I'm
Oh.
only joking.
Yeah, she has a story to tell, that's for sure.
She's got many. No, I get on great with Shelley. She's lovely, lovely person, and she's been very supportive. And yeah, I think a lot of her. Yeah.
All right, that's lovely, Stella. Well, thanks very much for your time. Take care of yourself, and hope to speak to you again, but under slightly more happier circumstances.
Of course, yeah. Love to Krista, and you take care now.
Thank you,
and bye.
Take it easy.